Okay, I'm going to continue on with the Star Trek demo. We're going to make it so you can say, Spock, what are you doing? So I'll just make a copy of what I got. Yeah. So I already demoed something I was going to do last time. I just had to implement it. I changed the implementation slightly from what I was going to do because it was, rather than have one function that does everything, I added a new function that does one thing. What do we got? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so what I said I was going to do was change process so this works. Instead, I added a new function, process context, which would just run the client-side stuff, so the semantics and the generators. And there's a plural one, process context, that takes context in. So just clean this up a bit. You can pass it the semantics, the generators, and the objects. All of the arguments are optional. So if there's no semantics, it won't run any semantics. If there's no generators, it'll just run the default one. And then you only need objects if your generators or semantics use that. Use the objects. So I'll just pull them out of the config I already set up. Yeah. So that's the new function. Give it a run. What? Oh, the new function is doesn't return a promise because it runs on the client side, so there's no remote call. So we'll save the result of the call. Get rid of this junk because it's not a promise. And the result contains two things, the generated strings and the context that's been had the semantics run on it. So we'll just print that off. Generated. Give it a run. Okay, so now we can see, yeah, so it's now printing out, I am arming the photon torpedoes like I said it would, yay. Except it's a different function. So now we can go work on adding the sentence, what are you doing? And then we'll have it do that, print out, I'm arming the photon torpedoes. Yeah. I'm just going to stick this in the to-do list for Spock. So I'm just incrementally developing. So we'll shove that in the to-do list for Spock. Then when you say, what are you doing? We'll just have it pull that out of there. And in the future, we'll say, Spock armed the photon torpedoes. Spock, what are you doing? I mean, not right after one after the other. Well, it's just a demo. Yeah, so that's what we'll do in the future. I'm just going to get it going by shoving the value in there to start with. But all the code already was written to do that anyway, so it should just work. I just don't want to have it print out too much stuff on the console because it's hard to read. So we'll shove the to-do in the to-do. Call it armum. Okay, so we don't need this code. This was just for seeing it work. I'll put the main loop back in. Fix a spelling mistake. Da, 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 da. What do we got? What's she doing? Okay, so that didn't. We don't need that old code. That was me starting to write something that didn't work out. Let's give another go. All right, so it didn't crash. Hurrah. And what do we got? Oh, it printed out the array as array. Not super helpful. That's the context that it returned. Let's just print it out so we can read what's in the array. We'll just make sure that the old one still works. Walla, walla, walla. Zippity zap. Look at that. Did not crash. Okay, so now we got it in. Oh, it's in twice because I added it to the array manually with that arm thing, and then by saying Spock arm the photon torpedoes, it's currently just shoving it in the Spock to-do list. So if this was some kind of game, right, the character could go be doing stuff, and then we could say, Spock, what are you doing? And then Spock could go barf out, I'm arming the photon torpedoes. Yeah, okay, so now let's get that phrase working. I think. What are you doing? So now let's work on what are you doing? Let me take the Spock out and we'll just do that. Like I'll do it incrementally. So we'll get the Spock working in the future. Okay, so what are you doing? So it's the same sort of thing. Type in the sense you want. Mark the operators. What are we going to do with this? I don't know. Mark all the operators, then figure it out. Da, 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 da. Okay, what are we going to do? What am I doing? What are you doing? What am I doing? I don't know. Let's make doing a postfix operator, and the argument can be you. Yeah. And so I'll mark you as the operator, operand, and then doing is going to be the operator. So it's postfix. And then R can be an infix operator. I guess. So we'll mark what as the operand and then scope the whole thing. So yeah. Give that a run. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it works. Blah, blah, blah. Following up. Oh, I didn't define the bridges, right. So it's good to define the bridges. We'll just make a context that says, I don't know. What are we doing? What am I doing? I don't know. So what can be an that's just a no arg operator. These two have no arguments. I'll mark this as pull from context. I think in the future I'll have some sort of helper function, but currently I haven't figured out what it is. So maybe that can be done automatically. I haven't written enough interdicton code to know what that will be, but eventually I'll figure it out. Doing is a postfix operator, so we'll just spread the operator and set some variable to the u. So I don't know, actor, whatever. And it'll be the junk before because it's a postfix operator, and the before is always an array. Yeah, so R is an infix operator. What can we do with that? Okay, let's just keep track of the what. Oh yeah, the after. Oh right, so the actor is going to be after now because the after is the doing part because we're now in an infix operator. So the actor will be the after junk, and the action can be what, I guess, whatever. That'll be the for because we're now an infix operator. Is that everything? Give her a go, see what happens. Stand it up, see if anyone salutes. Okay, there. So we got R, a context with R, and then it has an action, what, an actor doing. Whoa, that's kind of gross. An actor doing that has an actor. That's kind of grosser than I would like. So let's think of something to do to fix that. What are you doing? Should I change this? No, let me try this. I think this will work. So I'm going to just suck the actor out of doing. I'm going to suck the actor out of that, and then it'll be less messy. So I won't have that double nesting of actor.actor, which is gross. Sorry, I'm on the machine with the slow network because it's wireless. I haven't figured it out yet. Da, da, da. Oh, no, wait, it's training. That's what the problem is there. Okay, what do we got? R, oh there, so now we just have actor is only one level, not actor.actor. It's still a touch gross because it's R instead of doing. Maybe we want to fix that. Because it's kind of the doingness that's happening, not the R-ness. What can I do with that? How to fix that? I'm going to pause it and think of how to fix this. Oops. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so we're going to make it be doing there instead of R. So how can we do that? So we'll just go here in the bridge for R, and instead of spreading the R, we'll spread the thing after, and then that will put the doing in the marker because we're spreading that instead of the R. And then that'll make more sense when we get to the generators rather than search on the context R. What I do? Think. Oh, I don't want next because I don't want the next level of the operator. I want it just because there isn't. I want just the marker, the properties to get spread in. I don't want to increment the level. There we go. So now we got doing. So now our context is doing. We have an actor that's you. We have an action that's what. Oh, yeah. So we can now work on the. What is this? What are you doing? The semantics for that. So then we can print out Spock saying, I am arming the photon torpedoes. Just a sec. Let me think about this. Oh yeah, there's this other thing you can do. So we're going to add a flag on the what to tag it as a query. And then, yeah, so that'll get is query stuck into the what context. What are you doing? Yeah, so now we have what in there. So I can add this flag here, floaters. So you can mark properties as floating up into higher level contexts. I use it for queries, and I was using it also for languages. So if you say French words, it can float up language French or whatever. So when the generators run, they can paraphrase in French. That's in the demo. Okay, so now we're going to pull the is query up into the higher, from the what into the higher level context. Ta-da! It's like magic, but it's not. It's logically positive computer programming. Okay, so now we can write the generator. We can distinguish between questions like what are you doing with something that's not a question. Okay, so now we'll in the doing context with the that's marked with what was it again? Is query. We're going to run that semantics, this new semantics that I'm setting up. This will be the one that will do what we did, which I was showing at the start of the demo, which was convert the context into the string I am arming the photon torpedoes. So just suck that junk up there, fire it in the semantics, so that can be called on demand. What do I need? Ba-da-da-da-da. What are we doing? Okay, I'm just going to write it to grab a context at first, just incremental development, make sure get the bits working rather than try and go for the whole thing at once. What are we doing? Where is this thing? Objects, characters, Spock, to do. Okay. Global objects, characters, Spock, to do. So that's a to-do list. Is that right? Yes. So we'll just grab the whatever one's in the list. I know because I hard-coded one, so there'll always be one there. Yeah, so save that context. That'll be the context we're gonna... Yeah, so we'll pull it out of the to-do list for Spock. I don't need semantics because I'm just going to generate I am arming the photon torpedoes, so don't pass that in. I don't even think it... Oh, right, I have to pull objects out of the global thing. I think I should fix that to make objects be the same name rather than global and objects. but I'll make sure it's backward compatible. Okay, so I'll just tag some X's out there so when I run it, it's easy to find. What's the problem? Oh, variable names, fix that. Whatever, shove it in C. Do it. If you ask me what's on my to-do list, it's doing this demo. Where do we go? Let's find the X's and all this junk. Junk. Where is it? I'm arming the photon torpedoes. So there we go. So I said, what are you doing? System generated, I'm arming the photon torpedoes using that context. Okay, let's fix it up so it's more general. I guess fix it up so it's more general. Right, so we got to get the context. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, get the context, and then what can we do? Let's just loop through them. So we'll just loop through all the stuff in the to-do list, generate what he's doing. And so, yeah. Then just pull out the generated from the results. And then I'll just dump what he's doing on the console again. I mean, ultimately, you could fire this off. If it's a game, you could fire it off to the character to say what he's doing in the game, or if it's a chatbot, dump it on the console, say Spock said that. That's what Spock said. Failure, programming failure. What is wrong? I don't know. Sometimes I confuse Python with Node and I can't tell what's right. So I'm just going to try doing a loop this way because I'm not sure if it's one of those times. So we'll just loop through with a for loop and shove it into a list. Or we'll discover what I'm doing wrong because I'm writing different code and it'll fail in a different way. Shove it in the list. Okay, voila, for loop. Still didn't work. Okay, that's syntax, fix the syntax. Hey, fire away. Context is not iterable. What is wrong? So there's something else wrong that I'm not seeing. What is it? Let's just print it out. D. Oh, it's not an array. That would explain the problem. Not being an array makes it not iterable. So let's just, I'm just going to go back to the map because that was fine. Get rid of the, yeah, there we go. So now it's not not a single context. It's an array. Hurrah. Arrays are where it's at. Okay, so now we ran over the array. What do we got here? Where's my X's? Undefined. That's not super good. Undefined. Oh, I didn't return the value because I switched it from like that shorter lambda to the one with the function or the statement notation. Let's check it out again. Where are my X's? Come to me, my lovelies. There we go. I am arming the photon torpedoes. Hurrah. So now you could fire that off to the character and it could say in the game what they're doing, or if it's a kind of text interface, you barf it out on the console. What do we got? What am I going to do next? Oh, how do I'm going to pull the U out. I'm going to use the, it's what are you doing? So I'm going to pull, Spock from the context of you rather than hard coding Spock as I have done. So let's fix that. So if the mentioned length is greater than 0, this is a work in progress, right? So I'll do fancier stuff in the future things. Shove it in there. So if the mentions length is greater than 0, we're just going to pull that out. In the else case, we can do other things. Like in the future, I could do something like ask, what can I do? Oh, if you isn't specified, maybe we can ask, who do you mean when you say you? That might be interesting. Oh, yeah, that's kind of fun, more conversational. Anyway, so I could do that in the future. And so instead of hard coding Spock, what we're going to do is pull Spock from the context. In the future, if the user didn't say who, then we could say who. Then the user could say Spock. That's one other variation we can do on that. It's really cool because you can program this thing unlike other neural nets. Oh, we can also do what is Spock doing, or what is Sulu doing. You can ask that. I mean, that'll clearly work. You don't even have to pull it from the context. I mean, that's easy to do. We'll do that in the future. So we'll run Spock. What are you doing? So now I got the Spock in the context. Got a typo in the code. Spock in the context. Typo in the code. Blah, 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 mismatched quotes, boring. Okay, fire off again. Spock, what are you doing? You can use that emotion thing I did before, so if Spock's angry, you can go, what? I guess Spock doesn't get angry though, does he? No, he's been angry. I thought he was emotionless. Anyway. Where's my X's? There. I'm arming the photon torpedoes. What's that other junk? Was there only... Oh, there must be more than one thing in the to-do list. Is that what that is? What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, I didn't do the generators for the new sentence. I don't really care, though. I mean, you can do it in the future. There. I must have just not saved or something. I'm arming the photon torpedoes. So now we said, Spock, what are you doing? I'm on the photon torpedoes. That's other stuff we can do in the future. I'm going to stop here before my server